A kicker, Chris Boswell, has it ready to go, and we are underway from Pittsburgh. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. Here is Tua Tagovailoa heading out to lead this Miami offense.
The secret to his game and his success? Incredible chemistry with each and every one of the guys who catches passes with him. And not only does he ask them to stay after practice or meet it before practice, he actually demands it because he knows if they have that kind of chemistry built up, they're going to be hard to beat each and every ball game.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. In motion left, Hill. Play action, now it's Tua. Gets this one to Hill. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Here's 2nd and 7. In motion, Hill. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
And Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. This one thrown underneath to Achane. And they stop him up short of the 1st down as they get him at about the 43. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. Under center is a 6'2", 225-pound signal caller, Aaron Rodgers.
I remember watching him in college and seeing a guy that you knew had great potential, but I don't know that anyone knew that we would see how he would blossom as an NFL player who will go down as one of the all-time great quarterbacks. Can make every throw from every angle with terrific mobility, and he knows how to win games, always in contention for a championship.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Now Rodgers. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. That time, Bradley Chubb shooting in there for the sack. Tell you what, he did not have much time there to scan the field before he was ducking and covering.
Did it appear to you, as it did to me, that the defensive front won their play really quickly? Meaning the guys in front of them had almost no chance to block him. They were on him in a hurry.
So a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17. Rodgers going to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. But, man, his first throw, that nearly went the other way. Instead, it's 4th down.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. So Miami coming out for their 2nd drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
The drive starts with a run from H.N. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
The ball gets bumped up. It's now 2nd and 4 after the penalty. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. And going deep for Hill. It's caught inside the 25. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. It's a big play there for Miami. 45 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. H.N. gets it from the gun. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now they send a man in motion right. Right back to H.N. on 2nd down. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. You don't see that a ton, do you? The cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
From the gun, it's Tua. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. Well, both teams kind of feeling each other out here, and now after 3 drives, we have a score with that field goal.
Yeah, they're still waiting for their breakout drive to come to them, all right? They're using the playbook well. They're looking for that extra section that says touchdowns instead of field goals, but they'll take the 3 for now and try and get set up for more later.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
Now a 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Rodgers. His throw incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
The threat of a 2nd straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Miami's offense set and ready to go. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Tua getting it quickly out to Waddle. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
Made the quick throw there outside the numbers, and you can feel the thought process. They just wanted to get in his hands and let him make a play. But how about the job they did defensively to keep him bottled up? Instead, they tackle him for a loss.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit. But get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. Now it's Rodgers. In trouble, and he's taken down. Jalen Phillips, the former 1st-rounder, getting in there for the sack. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this 1st quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Working from the gun, Rodgers. That's to the veteran. It's Robert Woods. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. Miami set to take over. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. And the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Finding Waddle, crossing the field and bringing it in. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. The tackle credited to Deshaun Elliott, the safety. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, 0 nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
Right back to Achane on 2nd down. And not much room to speak of. He'll get about 3 up to the 41.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Now 3rd down and 7. Tua sets up to pass it. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
Now they'll send Waddle in motion left. A run straight ahead with Achane. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Now you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd and 3. In motion, Hill. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
You still hold your breath a little as a defense when Tua gets out of the pocket. You're worried about him scrambling and getting a first down. But there, he made the wise call. If there's nothing downfield, just throw it away.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. And they'll send the tight end in motion. Tua going to throw. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. On 4th down, Ryan Stonehouse on to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Three 3-0 after one on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Here's Rodgers to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Warren. And he'll be out of bounds right around the 20. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. And 3rd and 8 now. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. He'll get the hook up there to Woods. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 24. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that one too wide and incomplete.
No sense risking anything there on 1st down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who could make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
2nd and 10. On play action, here's Tua. And that's going to be incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hoping they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
The Dolphins on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Tua. And that will be incomplete as well. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Here's Austin. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
A good head-down running on the return. Gets about 15 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here's Rodgers. Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. Inside the 20. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
Partner, when you're playing cover two, this is like a tag team for the safeties. Each of them gets a half-field responsibility. Their job, stay as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, read the football, and go make a play. In this case, the free safety made the best play, an interception.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. They take over here with good field position thanks to that nice return after the interception, as they're already in the red zone, 1st and 10. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. And they'll give this to Achane. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
What a way to start a drive. An excellent run, a tone setter, and now if you want to take a shot on 2nd down and go play action and make it look like the same exact play and throw it over the top, you can do so because you've established the run in a big way.
Now they'll put a receiver in motion left. Tua with a quick throw, caught out wide. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. Option handoff now to Achane. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. So 4th down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit. The kick by Sanders is good, and they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Throwing is Rodgers. And that is incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. To throw is Rodgers. And that went to the right side and incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
Not many boos just yet from this home crowd, but they may be starting soon as I'm starting to detect an uneasy murmur through this crowd. This offense, they've been lifeless in this first half. And now here's another punting situation and a 4th down.
Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Here's Achane to start the drive. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Right back to Achane on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Achane on the counter. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
Brandon, we just saw the benefits of being able to run the ball successfully. They pick up 4 yards on that carry. So now if you're a play caller, you can do just about anything you want. But on the defensive side of the ball, you scramble a little bit. Now you're behind trying to figure out, do I need to blitz him? Do I need to pressure him? How do I gain an advantage on this snap?
They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 46 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
And that's a nice pickup of a 1st down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
A couple of 1st downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down. In motion, Hill. They'll swing this complete out to Hill. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and it'll be 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Out of the gun, here's a give to Achane. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin 1st down.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
When coaches stress their defense being physical, they don't just mean the big guys. How about the guys on the outside, the cornerbacks? It's not just their job to patrol the airspace. They can get involved in the run game as well.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early. Now they nabbed the rookie there for the 5-yard penalty.
So much going through his head. You know it just has to be, right? All of his assignments and realizing every game he plays, one of the better players in the league will be opposite him.
Looking to pass. Tua. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
That ball caught by his rookie wideout.
And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th.
Well, don't tell any defensive coordinator I've played for, but that might be considered a win for both teams because defensively they stopped them short and forced the 4th down. But offensively, they picked up enough yards to give their kicker a better shot if that's what they want to do.
Sanders' kick is good, and that will make this a 9-point lead. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They'll be in search of their initial points of the contest, trailing 9-0 as they begin with a first down. On play action, it's Rodgers.
And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time, separation. That's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Now Rodgers.
He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
That's complete to DK Metcalf. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Well, this hasn't really been a first half to remember on either side of the ball. But I think this kind of makes this an important drive. You'd love to get this back to a one-score game if you can. And that's good work there to get some yardage here and pick up the first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Oh, and that is incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earn a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Now Rodgers.
A short one there to Freiermuth.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. To throw, it's Rodgers.
A short one there to Freiermuth.
So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
So that last penalty making this 3rd down much more manageable. 3rd down, 4 yards to go. Rodgers going to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Rodgers now to throw. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Perfect example of the kind of attitude you have to play defensive back in the NFL. You want to be the only defender around, and you want them to challenge you. And on that play, he came through.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. And again, it's Rodgers. This is caught.
And the Steelers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown.
Jalen Warren
taking it in from a yard out.
And the Steelers are on the board here in the final minute of the 1st half. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play, and they actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Devon Achane of the offense ready to go once again.
It may just be the 2nd quarter, but he's in a zone well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And that is incomplete here.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now Tua. Little short pass here to Hill. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
So we are at halftime here on a Monday night. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, and we have not been disappointed. This is the kind of game that could wind up hinging on which side could play mistake-free football the rest of the way.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Steeler offense now with the football first here to begin the 3rd quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Now a play fake. Rodgers going for Metcalf on the deep ball, and that is incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line.
On the give, it's Warren.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
That is caught.
Powers ahead at the 45.
And he will have a Steelers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. Throwing now is Rodgers. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd down and 5.
Here's Rodgers to throw.
Got his man, it's Warren.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he will have a Steelers first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Now a run with Warren.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Calvin Austin, 37 yards. And the Steelers have taken the lead here in this 3rd quarter.
And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
Boswell for the extra point. And the lead is up to 5. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told.
And in the end, a Calvin Austin touchdown grab finished the drive off.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half.
And, Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, 1-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just, our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side trying to match each other.
That to the sideline and incomplete. Boy, they're going to say there's a receiver in the area. That was close to grounding, but it's 2nd down.
They fake the handoff. Now Tua rolling to his left. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down.
The plan was clearly to challenge them by sending a blitz on 2nd down, but even the extra guys couldn't catch him in the backfield, though. He doesn't scramble for a first, but he does get the last laugh by evading the blitz and getting beyond the line of scrimmage.
In motion is Washington. Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here.
That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down.
Sometimes I think cornerbacks can benefit from the fact that quarterbacks might just forget about the idea that they might be near the line of scrimmage. How about the anticipation there, sneaking in and making a big play in the backfield?
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now.
He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
That one is blown up by Jordan Brooks, the linebacker.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now it's Rodgers.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Rodgers.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. 51 yards on the punt there.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Dolphins offense and running back Devon Achane making their way back out. And he's had his fair share of troubles in this one, unfortunately. This defensive front has wreaked havoc throughout the contest, and he hasn't been able to create enough space to make something positive happen to this point.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives. Breaks the tackle, now an alley. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Now, they may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
And it's pretty evident that this passing game has been frustrated so far. They haven't really moved the ball the way we might have expected, but this is a good pickup here for the 1st down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now whistles and a flag, and I believe the Dolphin got going a little early.
Well, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. In motion, Hill. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down.
Alex Highsmith making the nice play and getting the sack. Well, you could almost see his eyes light up defensively. I mean, as a linebacker, that's about as quick as you can get to a quarterback.
So what did your 3rd grade teacher teach you about straight lines, right? As soon as you have those, you take full advantage of them. He found a gap in the offensive line, got to the quarterback, and put him on the deck.
Waddle, the motion man, right. Running right, here's Achane.
And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Give him a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun. And that is incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now,
as he'll come on to kick for a sixth time tonight. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
The last series form a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The rush defense stout on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Here's Warren.
And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Under pressure, and down he goes. Bradley Chubb bringing the pressure yet again. That's his 3rd sack here tonight.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck.
And they will take over 1st and 10. Miami's offense set and ready to go. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game. And there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside. Probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
Here's Tua.
Well, the pressure gets there, and Tua's going to be taken down. Alex Highsmith able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long.
Looking to pass. Tua. Little short pass here to Hill. That'll give him 8 that time, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop him well short.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now
as he's on to punt for Miami. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. They'll run it. Warren, only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Running left, it's Warren.
And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
I'll bet they thought they had picked that one up because it was a 3rd and 2 call, and they got awfully close. Now we're at 4th and inches. I wonder if they think they're feeling lucky here and maybe want to go pick it up.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over.
And the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10
at their own 19-yard line. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack.
Well, they've got the lead, but it's certainly not a big one. And how do you keep control of that lead? Certainly not by that last play there. They gave up a big sack on the first play of this drive. Now it's double the distance to the 1st down marker.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. And they'll send the tight end in motion here.
Out route to Hill, complete.
It'll go as a gain of 4. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Over the middle and complete to Waddle.
And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now
as he's on to punt for Miami. Now Austin.
A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return.
Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
And what a tough spot for this defense because they know it's coming, but they're just powerless to stop it. What a great run there to start the drive. And you can bet there'll be more where that came from as they try to ice this game away.
Now run straight ahead with Warren.
And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine.
A handoff for Warren.
And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now, to stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
On the run, it's Warren.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand they're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
First carry for Kenneth Gainwell. And this defense not ready for that one as he'll take this down inside the 25.
The Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards.
This has been a tremendous drive to this point, and this is all you want, playing with a lead in the 4th quarter. If you can keep the ball on the ground, keep the sticks moving, you're going to be in good shape to finish this one off.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
Jordan Brooks with it. And the Dolphins are right back in this football game.
A seismic shift in momentum here in the 4th quarter. That's the break that the defense needed.
And you know as well as I do, people are going to question the play call in that situation. Sometimes you have to question the execution, not necessarily the call. And in this case, those defenders found a way to give their team a chance.
The Dolphins about set to go to work on offense. The interception sets them up with an opportunity to erase this 4th quarter deficit. Now, this series could very well determine our outcome. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10
at their own 17-yard line.
In motion, Hill. After the turnover, it's Tua.
And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Achane gets it from the gun.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Cameron Hayward getting upfield to make the stop.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. They'll bring the tight end in motion right.
H-Chan here. They stay on the ground.
It'll be a 5-yard pickup there. So from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game with averages of 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
3rd and 8.
In motion, the tight end. Out of the gun on 3rd down. Here's Tua. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now,
as he's on to punt for Miami. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And the Steelers set to take the field.
but not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. The end result, 21 yards.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, fourth quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. Warren. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46.
Tyrell Dodson, the one to bring him down. I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Warren.
And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 57 yards rushing for him now as he's done it on 19 carries.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well. Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd and 5.
To throw is Rodgers. He finds his man, complete. That's Warren. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time. Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
So here we go. On now is the kicker, Chris Boswell. This to put him a touchdown and a 2-point conversion up. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And that'll push the lead up to 8.
So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Dolphins offense returning to the field. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And remember, despite giving up the field goal, this is still a one-score game. They're in need of the touchdown and a two-point conversion. A field goal on this drive likely doesn't do them much good. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the fourth quarter. Should rely more on the passing attack?
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long. And you know, this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They got to make some moves.
Tua going to throw. Wright's got him. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11.
And that's a much-needed first down right there. Look, they're down by 8. So logic says they don't have to get a touchdown out of this drive. But the way things are going, I don't know if I'd put it in the hands of my defense here. You might not get the ball back at all. So if a 4th down situation comes up, I'm thinking hard about going for it right here and right now.
On play action, here's Tua. Sliding up. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Alex Highsmith
In there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Tua sets up to pass it. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And this is going to be incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now
as he's on to punt for Miami. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Now this airmail to the sideline. It's incomplete. And there don't appear to be any flags forthcoming. Maybe a little fortunate there. It's third down. They're backed up here. Tough spot. Needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Big hook up there. Forced to throw it on third down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Rolling. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. Points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Keep it on the ground. It's Warren.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. Now a handoff up the middle. Moore. And he is going to have a Steeler first down. All smiles on that sideline. That should be the one to do it. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football, because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression? That's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head. You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead. Losing the game is one thing. Getting shut out in the second half, that's a surprise.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com.
The Steelers earned the win at home as we say so long from Pittsburgh.